Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Rao. Joining me from Guwahati is Debashish, and I can see some beautiful scenery behind him. Debashish, I think this is the most serenic screen that you have brought us. I can see mountains behind you as well. Love what it's looking like in Guwahati. Also joining us is Bharat Ramraj. But as we talk about mountains, there is a mountain ahead of Team India. A mammoth total, 522 needed in 90.1 overs to win. India will have to bat out three entire sessions to make this a draw, but a lot of people think it's more a defeat than a draw. But Devashish, what are your thoughts at the moment? What do you think the approach will be like? Already India's lost 2 wickets. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill task. We have to accept. It has to. It is going to be an uphill task because that dismissal of KL Rahul will be enough to put a doubt in that Indian dressing room. Means that was a clear off spinner delivery, going through the gate and bowling KL Rahul on. That will be enough for day 5 wicket against a spinner who has his tail up. Simon Harmer has been the difference between both sides. Let us accept it. Bharat has been telling for time and again before the series started, and I also started believing that he has been the difference in this series. But if you look at the spinners from both the sides, bowling perfect line and length, perfect speed, and then you have a Keshav Maharaj and the Senura Muthusamy who hasn't so has played a part with the ball, but it might well be that day 5 wicket he might come into effect as well, and then you have a Marco Jansen. So it's a matter of eight good deliveries, and I think it's going to be very difficult for India. Yes, people might argue that India needs to show some character. These are all good words to say. Needs to show some character. Needs to show that urge. Needs to show that hunger. But let me tell you that day 5 wicket on this track, it means India will face it quite a big problem, and the key will be to not lose too many wickets in first session. If you lose 2 or 3 wickets in the first one, match gone. Means by second session we might well see the match, i- South Africa winning this test match.
Absolutely, Bharat. What do you think? Is the likely outcome today? Like Debashish said, Simon Harmer has been the difference. On this pitch, the South African spinners will look to draw blood. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, most likely, logically, you expect India to lose, but you never know. Who knows? India might go on to draw this test, but it doesn't look easy at all. As it's already been noted, by now at least the pitch is offering enough resistance for the spinners, and someone like Simon Harmer definitely is bowling at his very best. He's a different bowler now compared to what he was when he first came to India in 2015. He went over to SX as a callback player. He definitely improved his game, so he understands what to do. It isn't just about wearing his speed. Sometimes he's turning it a little more. Sometimes he's deliberately turning it a little less. So he's all the time putting the doubts or sowing the seeds of doubt in the minds of the batter, and that is why I think he's succeeding. And if you notice, he's also ready to bowl from outside off, getting it to turn from outside off. The Indian spinners, for some reason, always attack the stumps. They don't try to go outside off and turn it from there to clean up the batter with the batter trying to play the expansive drive. But from India's point of view, I think the best thing they can do is just play their normal game. See, what happens is in these situations, you can't win a test. So if a batsman plays too defensively, then it allows the spinner to get on top of you. Obviously, I'm not saying go out and play reckless cricket, but just play your normal game. Play as if it's day one of the test match. If there's a loose ball on offer, hit it for a boundary. I know it is not easy. I know it is not so easy to do that in such situations, but I think that is the best that India can do. Just Indian batters can do. Just play your normal game, and that would help the Indian batters to eye a drawn test.
Sabyasachi Basu is asking, I have a question. Has South Africa... Okay, Debashish, go ahead, and then we'll get back to cricket. You're on mute, Debashish.
can just throw in your questions to Sudhir. He will go inside the ground. So कुछ भी अगर आपको पूछना है तो पूछ लो सुधीर sir. You are
You
mute.
ask
You are mute.
directly, you have a conversation with him.
हाँ तो सुधीर को क्या लग रहा है फिर डिसअपॉइंटेड क्योंकि बहुत उम्मीद था कि साउथ अफ्रीका के खिलाफ हम टेस्ट सीरीज जीता तो नहीं बट वी आर स्केयरिंग एट अ व्हाइट वॉश.
नहीं, व्हाइट वॉश से रोकने के लिए हमारे पास एक विकल्प है. आज जैसे कुलदीप यादव जी ने 150 लगभग 150 बॉल खेलकर पिच पे डटे रहे, तो आज हमें उसी से उम्मीद है कि कुलदीप यादव 2 घंटे अगर टी टाइम तक टिक गए तो 100% मैं गारंटी दे दो टीम इंडिया ये टेस्ट जीत तो नहीं सकती, लेकिन ड्रॉ करने का पूरा पूरा अधिकार होगा.
जिस तरह से हमारे बल्लेबाज ने बैटिंग किया खास करके ऋषभ पंत जो इरेस्पॉन्सिबल शॉट खेला, तुमको लगता है आज वो कैप्टन भी है, ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है उनके उनके ऊपर, तो क्या वो उभर के आएंगे टू दे शो कैरेक्टर एंड सेव दिस टेस्ट मैच जैसे कि तुम कह रहे हो?
नहीं, मुझे तो काफी उम्मीद है ऋषभ पंत से भी, भले ही जो मैच में जैसे भी खेले, लेकिन ये टेस्ट इज्जत पे पड़ी हुई है. अगर ये टेस्ट हम लोग जीत तो नहीं सकते, ड्रॉ करेंगे तो उनकी अहम भूमिका होगी. हालांकि वो अटैकर बैट्समैन है, पब्लिक इंटरटेनमेंट करते हैं, लेकिन आज देश के लिए ये मैच शाम तक खेलकर मैच को ड्रॉ करना चाहेंगे.
सुधीर तुम लास्ट वन मोर देन वन डिकेड यू आर सपोर्टिंग द इंडियन टीम. सचिन तेंदुलकर से लेके विराट कोहली, रोहित शर्मा, कितना मिस कर रहे हो इन विराट और रोहित को नाउ दैट दे हैव रिटायर्ड फ्रॉम टेस्ट क्रिकेट?
टेस्ट में तो ऑब्वियसली बहुत दुख हुआ कि अचानक में उन्होंने अनाउंसमेंट कर दिए, विराट भी कर दिए, रोहित शर्मा, तो मुझे काफी दुख हुआ. और ये टेस्ट मैच जो लास्ट ईयर भी हमसे न्यूजीलैंड ने तीनों टेस्ट मैच जीत के गए, व्हाइट वॉश हुई, तो मैं नहीं चाहता हूं कि ये टेस्ट साउथ अफ्रीका, भले ही नया जनरेशन है, नई क्रिकेटरों की उत्थान है, नए कैप्टन है, तो मैं किसी भी प्रकार ये सेकेंड टेस्ट मैच आज ड्रॉ के लिए ये शंखनाद करेंगे.
चलो थोड़ा शंख बजाओ.
ये शंख नहीं, ये है जंग ऐलान, टीम इंडिया सबसे महान. भारत माता की जय. जय हिंद. चले मामा. ओ एगो तो फ्री दीजिए एयरपोर्ट. घबरा गया हम, जल्दी से भाग ले. भाई
All
ये
right. Um,
बट
yes.
ये देखो ये कितना सुबह उठ के ये पेंट करता है जस्ट फॉर द शियर लव ऑफ इंडियन क्रिकेट. ये पैशनेट है, मगर देखो we just want the cricketers to put their hands up and show some character today. This is what you want. Means आज उतने भी लोग नहीं है, but whatever amount people have stand up, उनके लिए means obviously play for the country, play for the pride. Means, and this is a perfect opportunity. ये नहीं कि आप मैच ड्रॉ नहीं कर सकते, but for that you need to show some character.
Absolutely. Sabyasachi here is asking Bharat, and a good question. Essay, did South Africa play superbly or did India play badly? I think South Africa played superbly, but also India played badly. It can be both. What are your thoughts, Bharat?
Yeah, it's usually a mixture. When you see a result like this, when one team is dominating a particular test, then it's usually a case of one team playing really well and the other team playing some poor cricket or a poor game. So that's what has happened here too. I think the Indian batters have a problem against spin bowling. So it's not just Simon Harmer. See, Simon Harmer is a very good spinner. Keshav Maharaj is a very steady spinner. But in the last couple of years, Tom Hartley has come over to India and taken a 7-wicket haul. That says something. Ajaz Patel once went on to take 10 wickets in an innings, and in the last couple of 3 years, yes, Sandner is also a pretty useful spinner, but he ripped through the Indian batting unit. So a lot of spinners, even Phillips has taken some wickets, come out to India and taken wickets. That tells you that India have a problem in spin bowling. So I don't think Indian batters have played spin well. Their spinners, when as soon as the curator or the Indian management decided to look at a track with less turn or less purchase, the Indian spinners were outbowled by the South African spinners. And what surprises me was the two finger spinners from South Africa got more revs on the ball than your wrist spinner Kuldeep Yadav. That is usually surprising thing because you don't usually see finger spinner getting more reps on the ball than a wrist spinner as well, and that is what has happened here. So India have played some poor cricket. Their batsmen, they have not shown enough game awareness. Maybe in the first test at Eden Gardens, when the pitch was looking very difficult, they went into a shell 33 overs. They scored 77 for 7 in the second innings. When in those conditions, it is very difficult to just keep defending. They could have played a few more sweeps, few more reverse sweeps. They didn't do that. You would rather see a team getting all out for 110 in 33 overs instead of being 77 for 7 in those conditions of 33 overs. And the second test, when they needed to show a little bit of game awareness with the bats, maybe in the first innings they could have easily got at least 350. They didn't. And as Kuldeep Yadav showed, as Washington Sundar showed, this is perhaps not a pitch where you can go and hit sixes, but at least you can play for long periods of time because it's a very slow pitch. You needed to apply it really well. So India have been outplayed. South Africa have played brilliantly. Their batters have executed their plans at 247 for 246 for 6. It looked like they would get all out, but they have a long batting lineup. That was their plan, and they executed it really well with the lower order batters scoring all those runs. So full kudos to the South African team. But having said that, yes, the Indian team have been downright poor, especially in the second test where they might still, who knows, escape with a draw.
Um, okay, let's take this one. I'll get both Devashish and Bharat's comment on this. Musical Being is saying BCCI needs to review India's test performance after this 5-0 defeat, including last year's New Zealand 3-0 defeat. But sadly, the focus will now shift to white ball games and everything will be hunky dory again.
And he makes it a perfect point. Means obviously there will be a review meeting for sure. But what happens is in 2 days' time after this test series, India plays South Africa in the ODI series, where Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma will be the center of attraction. So clearly, the focus will be now in the next 6 months. The focus will be entirely on white ball cricket. So all these talks about review meeting and this and that, I think, and then what happened after that series loss against New Zealand? So there were there. It was a similar situation. But see, so clearly, what baffles me is that there are 3 points I would like to stress out. Is first, you need to have specialists in Test match cricket. You cannot have cricketers who has not just beat. I won't say bits and pieces, but you need to have specialists. Means be it a number three, be it a number four, and you need to give the cricketers a longer rope. Someone like a Sai Sudarshan, even if he fails in this test match, you need to stick with him. If you think that he can be your number three batter, it's plain simple as that. Means you cannot just pick him for one test match, drop him for the other, then you get another try someone else. That is not the way out. Hopefully, the team management, the selectors realize this, because test match is something. And remember, we are going through transition. Yes, people talk about what is this transition here in Indian condition, but definitely see, to fill in the shoes of someone like a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma, it will take a lot of doing. So I would say whoever is being picked, you need to persist with. Means give him a longer rope, at least 4 or 5 test matches. Then only you take a call. And third, the most important thing is that clearly you need to change the mindset that you played the white ball format. You cannot have that same mindset for a test match. Test match is all about patience. Test match is all about partnership, building partnership, staying in the middle, staying there. So I think clearly this team, the few of the players, I won't say the entire team, but definitely few of the players were found wanting as far as the temperament, the patience, the skill set is concerned. So lot of things to think about as far as India's going ahead, as far as India's test cricket is concerned. Obviously, 3 important test matches series coming up in next year: Sri Lanka, New Zealand, and Australia. People might say that India will find it now very difficult to qualify for W2, but you see, you can still improve, you can still come back, and you can still put up a good inspired performance and make it to the World Test Championship final. But for that, I think the mindset and the approach of this test side needs to change. start them, and the coach has to guide them.
Bharat, there is one question here, very technical. Despite Washington Sundar getting more drift, he struggled with line and length, whereas Hammer got less drift uh, than him, but he was still more effective. I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that Simon Harmer was bowling slower through the air. But Bharat, your analysis?
Yeah, that is one point. See, if you're going to bowl 95 kilometers per hour, 94 kilometers per hour on those decks, you're not going to get much purchase. And Simon Harmer got more reps on the ball. He definitely got more reps on the ball. That's, I think, something to look at. He definitely imparted more reps. And Simon Harmer is someone who bowls from slightly outside off, and I think that is another part to look at. A lot of Indian spinners tend to bowl, what can you say, stump to stump line. And if you bowl stump to stump line in those conditions in Guwahati, then I think then I don't think it is easy to get wickets. But yes, it comes down to the kind of pace that you are bowling. See, the Indian spinners, at least in the last some years, they have tended to bowl at pace. What they're looking at is turn at pace, side spin, that is basically. And it is very, very effective on pitches where it is resisting the spinners a lot more. That is when someone like Ravindra Jadeja as well becomes the Badsha of spin bowling, side spin bowling, because what you see is some will go straight on, and some will what you will get is that side spin, and from the same sort of grip, similar sort of grip, you will get it. And you can see how Steve Smith again and again got out to Ravindra Jadeja in a Test series in 2023. The same modus operandi, a few to come straight in, and then straight on, and then a few to turn away from the right hander, and that is what Washington Sundar also was looking at. He was looking at turn at pace, but in conditions like in Guwahati, I don't think it really helps to bowl that way.
Okay. Harmer has been a trump card for Africa. His tons of experience for Essex came into play. A skilled bowler with brain. Kudos. More. We've taken this one. I'm going to take more questions here. Fitmonk is Rev Sports का adopted son. क्यों भाई ऐसे क्यों कह रहे हो? Musical Being is asking, is it time BCCI should think of introducing franchise test cricket to save the longest format? I've never thought about franchise test cricket, Devashish, but I don't think Test cricket needs any saving. If you look back on the Border Gavaskar Trophy, till day 4, every single match was sold out. If you look back on Anderson Tendulkar Trophy, every single Test match till day 4 was sold out. Look at the Ashes. Ashes is always, instrumental in the marketing of the sport, always instrumental in the revival of the sport. Not that Test cricket has ever died, but Test cricket is very much alive. I don't think it needs a franchise-based Test cricket league to save it. It's never gone away, and it will never go away. Okay, Fitmonk is saying the biggest positive for India in this series is that there were only 2 matches. Okay. Janssen picked 6 wickets in the first innings. It indicates how poor we are in front of the fast ball as well. There are a few specialist batters or bowlers in the squad. That's the problem. Devashish?
Clearly means obviously the Indian batters definitely they were found wanting countering the short pitch stuff by Marco Jansen. Means the manner in which they gave away the wickets to Marco Jansen. Yes, I he definitely he used his height to good effect, and also he bowled those perfectly aimed bounces. But at the same time, you are playing Test cricket and you need to counter those. Means so clearly they lacked it. The Indian batters lacked it, and means in Indian subcontinent, in these docile pitches, you give wickets to Marco Jansen, and that is something thing to worry about going forward.
Okay, Shomik has also joined us for the last 10 minutes. Shomik, uh, one point is whether it be a draw, whether it be a defeat, tough questions will have to be asked of the Indian management and the selectors as well at the end of the day today. That is a press conference I'll be looking forward to. But looking back on the entire innings, on the entire series, today is the last day. what is the biggest question that you will ask if you're in the press conference today?
First of all, Gargi, good morning to our viewers. And Gargi, you started off by saying whether it will be a draw, whether it will be a defeat for India. If this game ends up in a draw, then I am Al Pacino. The, so the thing is that it is not going to end in a draw. India will lose. It's a matter of it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Whether before lunch or after lunch, whether going into the final session or into the second session, it is the question. Because this team doesn't have the batting wherewithal to um, to save this game, to play out three sessions in these conditions. People try to cite examples of the Oval, but the fact of the matter is that conditions, first of all, here are completely different. The Oval didn't have a red soil pitch. Here on a red soil pitch on day 5, even Jadeja yesterday said there will be even more turn and bounce on this pitch on day 5, number 1. The man who dropped the anchor at the Oval, KL Rahul, he is gone. Now, Shubman Gill at number 3, sorry, number 4, Shubman Gill is not playing this test match. So, you don't have the required batting wherewithal. And yes, Jadeja and Washington Sundar, they scored centuries in that game. But here on this pitch, it would be a Herculean. They will need a Herculean. They will have to redefine miracle to save this test match, and that's why I reiterate that if India save this test match, then I am Al Pacino. Number 2, the question about the press conference is that whether India is still serious about playing test cricket, in the sense that you are incorporating T20 style into test cricket. You are picking wrong players. So what is the roadmap ahead? What is the roadmap ahead? This is one of the lowest points in Indian cricket as far as red ball is concerned. So what is the roadmap ahead? But this is water under the bridge now. There is no point. There is no point brooding over it. You have lost the series against New Zealand. You have lost the series. You have suffered a whitewash against New Zealand, and you are going to suffer a whitewash in South Africa at home. But at the end of the day, this will be tomorrow. This will be water under the bridge. So we have to think about the way ahead. You have 9 more tests in this World Test Championship cycle, 2 each against New Zealand and Sri Lanka, and 5 at home against Australia. So this cycle, your campaign is all but gone, but it is about regrouping. How do you do that? Are you going to win? You are dogmatic about following your methods. Are you willing to be flexible? The fact of the matter is that after this loss, Gautam Gambhir, I don't know what the BCCI will do. I expect a review meeting, obviously. I expect, because BCCI will obviously take note, because BCCI cares for Indian cricket. BCCI is in very safe hands, and we have some excellent administrators in the BCCI. They care for cricket, and they will take note. I expect a review meeting going ahead, and certain things I am expecting in the next few days. I have a bit of hint, but I cannot reveal at this moment in time. But the fact of the matter is that sport is a it's a results-oriented business. After this series loss, Gautam Gambhir's position as a test coach would become untenable. End of story. I'm not talking about ODI or T20. White ball cricket and test cricket are mutually exclusive. So I'm not going into that. Gautam Gambhir has done well in ODIs and T20s. But test cricket, he has been an abject failure. And after this series defeat, his position will become untenable. Whether BCCI will continue with him as the test coach, that's the BCCI's call. We don't take decisions. BCCI are better equipped, and they are credible enough to take those decisions. Those calls need to be taken. Whether India next test match is 8 months away, but when you are suffering sort of back-to-back whitewash, if you leave out the series against home series whitewash, if you leave out the series against the West Indies,
Yeah.
then you are going into that mindset. We are not even good at home. So, and transition is a dud logic as far as home series is concerned. You can talk about transitions on the road, but not at home. I gave the examples of 2011-12 when India suffered back-to-back whitewashes in England and Australia, but came back and hammered England, Australia, and that was a bigger transition. Rahul Dravid, VVS Lakshman, they retired. Sachin Tendulkar's career was sauntering towards the golden sunset. Virender Sehwag was dropped. Gautam Gambhir was dropped. The likes of Shikhar Dhawan came and Shikhar Dhawan hammered 170 odd on his debut. So that was like that. India, that at that moment, India handled that transition. So there is no transition in home series. Now it is up to the BCCI. I am not reading anything into Gautam Gambhir, what he is going to. He is totally out of his depth as a coach, as far as test cricket. As a test coach, he's totally out of his depth. And but I have my full faith in the BCCI. I have my full faith in the BCCI hierarchy. I think they will take the right call for Indian cricket.
All right. Ojasvi Thapa is saying the last set of match winners and clutch players are gone with Virat and Rohit. These IPL stars are of no use. Even in IPL, all clutch knocks are played by foreign players. You know, Debashish, this is an argument that I have seen happening time and time again. That now you look back and realize how clutch, or rather how dependable and reliable Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma were, and how much their absence is now haunting us. But your thoughts on this? I think India still that these players still have the potential too. It's just lack of
Absolutely,
application, lack
absolutely.
of
I would,
execution.
yes, you cannot just have a substitute for Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma overnight. It takes time. It will take time, and that is why this talk about transition. So you cannot have a replacement. Means they have, and they have been successful over a period of time. So and that is the area where BCCI needs to think about after this series loss. Means what for me, I think you need to have a specialized number three and number four. Means obviously number four is Shubman Gill, but number three position is something that is very important. It, uh, so I think whether BCCI will walk in and have someone who they trust can be the replacement at number three, that is a question to be asked. But clearly, as far as mentality, as far as temperament, yes, they did lack it. That was on display in this test series. But clearly, it will take time. But whether they do not have it, but then it is up to the BCCI and the selectors to find who could be that able number three batter. Means there are so many options, but you need to find better. They do it quickly because still nine more matches to go in this WTC cycle.
Absolutely, and
Gargi,
every single yes.
yes, no, sorry, Gargi, you finish and then I will come in.
Now I was just saying that every single test match is important, and we knew that very well ahead of this series. But India has failed to capitalize on it. But Shomik, yes.
Yeah, no, Gargi, I will take your leave because the play will start in a minute. And given India's batting lineup, missing a single delivery is fraught with risks.
All right. Last
So,
minute from the show. Will Shomik, you can take our leave. Debashish, you as well.
thank you.
I'll throw the last question to Bharat and then close the show. Okay, Sambit Das here is saying, I believe India will either go all out for a commanding win to respond to the grovel remark made by South Africa's head coach, or they might collapse with 10 wickets falling for under 200.
Oh, that looks very much improbable because 522 runs required, or whatever it is, how many runs India require. A lot of runs India requires, something like 522 runs in 90 overs. So that looks improbable. Even if you try to play bash ball or whatever it is in Test cricket on a turning pitch. So I think India need to be practical. Just try to play for a draw and get something out of this Test match as a consolation. I think India can do it, but yes, it's not going to be easy. But India can still hope to draw this test match, especially with bad light coming into play somewhere late in the day. But that looks other option looks pretty much impossible, not even improbable. If India tried, then I think it makes no sense.
On that note, we'll take your leave. We'll be back at lunch or day end, whichever is first. So Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We'll be back very soon. Thank you.